Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 9-year-old Kostya Kuzmin was returning from school to his home on Bogatyrsky Prospect in St. Petersburg. He rang the intercom. His mother picked up the phone and opened the door for him. The second grader went into the entrance and behind him, followed by a stranger. Together with Kostya, he entered the elevator. When the elevator moved, the man grabbed Kostya by the neck and began to strangle him. The boy lost consciousness. When he woke up, Kostya went down to his 13th floor with difficulty. When the mother, running around the house looking for her son, saw the bloody fabric under his pants, she felt sick. The ripped-out organs operatives will find later at the trash can. The name of this monster, Igor Irtyshov, and he is deservedly considered one of the most terrible and disgusting maniacs who have ever wielded in St. Petersburg. Before he started inflicting terror on St. Petersburg, Irtyshov lived in the Krasnodar region. He was born on August 17, 1971, on the farm Krasny in a deeply drinking family. The mother did not give up alcohol even during pregnancy, so the boy was born weak and sickly. He was poisoned by boys in the yard, and he ran to complain to his mother. At the age of 10, Igor got into a traffic accident in which he received a head injury that affected his mental development. The boy was diagnosed with allegophrenia in the degree of moderate debility. The mother decided that she did not want to deal with a problem child and gave him to a special boarding school and stopped being interested in his further fate. The father had already left the family for several years. At boarding school, the older students constantly bullied Igor and beat him, and once after a drink they raped him. After graduation, Irtyshov studied to become a carpenter, but did not work in his specialty for long. Despite the problems with intelligence and psyche, the young man dreamed of a beautiful life. For it, he went to Moscow. But the capital did not accept Igor. He could not find a normal job, interrupted by casual earnings and often starved. It is unclear how long such an existence would have lasted. If one day Irtyshov had not met a man who offered Igor to move to him in St. Petersburg and helped him to get a job as a dishwasher in the cafe Pegasus. They soon parted ways, and Irtyshov moved to the village of Metalostroy near St. Petersburg. From dishwasher, Igor moved to waiters and began to contact with the visitors of the cafe, among whom there were many representatives of non-traditional orientation. Guests of the establishment flirted with Irtyshov and offered to continue acquaintance, including for money. The young man was not averse to easy money, so he agreed to the meetings. So he began to engage in prostitution. The new profession left an imprint on Igor's appearance. He began to dress brightly, bleached his hair, and changed his haircut. He expected that women would appear among his clients, but they did not pay attention to him. Igor's services were mainly used by men with a penchant for BDSM. Even during the investigation, he would claim that he had repeatedly been the victim of brutal torture by criminal and Caucasian clients. However, according to other sources, it was Irtyshov who tortured his clients in the role of an overbearing gentleman. Moreover, to the mutual pleasure of both. Be that as it may, prostitution brought him a good income. But over time, role-playing games ceased to satisfy the sadistic tendencies of a young man. Irtyshov's first crime was spontaneous. He attacked 3 boys during a walk in the park. One of them ran away, but 2, frightened by threats and a knife, obediently followed Igor to a deserted place. The sadist gave them both something to drink and then raped them. Irtyshov tracked down his next victim in February 1994. On the street, he noticed a 9-year-old schoolboy walking home alone. Igor got into the elevator with the boy, and when the car stopped, he attacked the child. He strangled him until he lost consciousness, dragged him to the stairwell and raped him. Then he killed the boy. Irtyshov could not hold back for long. In May of the same year, he went hunting again. He persuaded his new victim, a 9-year-old child, to go up to the attic with him to look at pigeons' nests. Irtyshov tore the boy's crotch with his hands after the rape. Medics managed to save the victim, but he remained permanently disabled. A month later, Irtyshov attacked again, raping 2 school children aged 9 and 11. Panic gripped the city. Parents did not let their children go out on the street and demanded that the authorities catch the perpetrator. But the police could do nothing. They had no leads. In September 1994, the maniac attacked a 15-year-old teenager, but he managed to break free and run away. Irtyshov was unstoppable and went looking for a new victim immediately afterward. Very soon he noticed an 8-year-old boy who stood at the entrance and waited for the door to be opened through the intercom. It was the same Kostya Kuzmin I mentioned at the beginning of the video. He was gone for only 15 minutes. But those 15 minutes were crucial for him and his family. The teacher threw the boy's entrails near the trash can and took the bloody backpack with him as a souvenir. After regaining consciousness, the schoolboy managed to get to his apartment, from where he was taken to hospital. The injuries that the perpetrator inflicted on the child were described by the doctors themselves as incompatible with life. Almost the same day, on the channel of local television of St. Petersburg was transmitted an appeal to all residents of the city. 9-year-old Kostya Kuzmin urgently needed the most complicated operation on intestine transplantation. Otherwise, the boy was threatened with imminent death. Such operations, or more precisely, a series of operations, at that time could only be done in the United States. American doctors agreed to perform it free of charge, but expensive transportation, tickets for parents, and payment for stay in a foreign country, as well as care for the patient, were necessary. In general, it is easy to guess how much money we were talking about. Nevertheless, in less than 10 days, the necessary amount was transferred to the bank account indicated on TV. The whole city helped the boy who was dying. Soon Kostya crossed the ocean, and in one of the best hospitals in Pittsburgh, he underwent more than 30 intestinal reconstruction surgeries. Doctors fought for the child's life for 6 years, but in 2000 the boy still died. The surviving 15-year-old proved to be a valuable witness. He was the only one who, although frightened, still remembered what the killer looked like. Soon all the houses in the city were pasted with the sketch, and the frightened Irtyshov fled to Murmansk, where he stayed with a friend. A month later, the man kicked out the capricious and irascible Igor, and he returned to St. Petersburg. Igor lived with one or the other of his lovers. One of them once noticed a bloody backpack, which Irtyshov always for some reason carried with him, and reported it to the police. The maniac was detained on November 28, 1994. During the search on the clothes of the killer's shoes found traces of blood of his victims. At first, Irtyshov tried to deny his guilt, and then began to simulate madness. He laughed, shouted, threw his own excrement on the warders. However, he failed to deceive the psychiatrists. Igor was declared sane and sentenced to execution, but Irtyshov did not stall in vain, imitating insanity. In 1996, Boris Yeltsin established a moratorium on the death penalty. The monster Irtyshov was one of the first to use the right to life for murderers. Until 2021, he served a life sentence in one of the colonies of Mordovia, until he died of heart failure. Employees of the zone said that for more than 20 years, Irtyshov's behavior did not change. He would squeal and laugh, or sit for hours staring at one point. The prison officers were sure that the maniac, who at first only feigned insanity, eventually really went mad.